I just wanted to comment on Dabo Swinney versus Ryan Day. Well, it's really not comparable whenever you talk about. I mean, even if you look at Dabo's versus Ryan Day's first 4 years, right? Because I've
Right.
heard people talk about that and compare. Well, you got to compare Ryan Day's first 4 years and Dabo's first 4 years. Okay, the first 4 years of Dabo, before Dabo Sweeney was the head coach at Clemson, and this is going to shock you, right? Um, their last 10-win season before Dabo got there was 1990. Okay, uh, they have not had a 10-win season since then. Dabo Sweeney comes in, first 4 years, has two 10-win seasons. And that first 10-win season, he has not had anything less than a 10-win season since then. So, Ryan Day, let's look at Ryan Day's first 4 years. You can say that Ryan Day has made that Ohio State program a little bit worse. Yes, I know they were a field goal away from winning a national championship. I understand that. But Urban Meyer was 7-0 versus Michigan. Ryan Day comes in with pretty much a national championship caliber team, cannot win the big one. I don't care if you're a field goal away or if you're 100 points away, you still lost. And you couldn't win. And you lose to Michigan 2 times in a row. So, in my opinion, from whenever Urban Meyer had Ohio State and whenever Ryan Day has now had um, Ohio State, you can say that it's slightly declined. Slightly. I'm not saying that they are all the way declined. I did say that, but very slightly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, um, Ohio State has, and here's the thing: I think both programs have taken steps back since. Um, well, Clemson has taken definite steps back since Trevor Lawrence left, and um,
Well, here's the thing, right?
yeah,
15-0. 15-0. You can't get any better than that. So anything worse than that is a step back. Wouldn't you agree?
of course, at
And
any point.
Brent Venables goes away. You have to make another hire. Brent Venables has been in that Clemson program for years. So Dabo Sweeney had to find his guy. Obviously it didn't work with Brandon Streeter or who's the new defense coordinator.
Wes,
Obviously, huh?
I think it's Wes Goodwin. Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, so the offensive coordinator obviously didn't work out. After the guy went to take the role at Virginia, right? That head coach. So
Yeah.
basically, what I'm saying is, to make a long story short, right? Um, when's the last time Dabo had to make them changes, right? Um,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So now I feel like he has the right tools. I think he made an amazing hire with Garrett Riley. You have Cade Klubnik coming back. He's the assumed starter. You got an excellent defense. Whether you want to say, okay, yeah, obviously a lot of guys went into the in the draft. Um, but you still gonna have an excellent defense. Still gonna have what I think a better offensive line than you had last year. Um, we'll see, right? We'll see. But the whole Ryan Davis Dabo Swinney thing is kind of silly because, like I said before, Ryan Day's still wet behind the ears. Dabo is not. Listen, did you know? Here's a fun fact. This is before Dabo Swinney got there. Clemson had only had like 7 10-win seasons in their whole school program. Dabo gets there, he has more than 7 10-win programs, and I believe he has more than 7 10-win programs in a row. So I believe that Dabo Swinney was in a different situation coming into Clemson than Ryan Day was. Ryan Day was literally handed the best team that he could have possibly gotten as a head coach. Um, and Dabo Swinney was handed not so good. Um,
Yeah.
I think Dabo Swinney, if he was stupid enough to go to Ohio State instead of Ryan Day, let's just say that, I believe Dabo Swinney would have already had a national title. And I know that's a big take right there, but Dabo's clearly better, man. I don't care if he's been coaching for 15 years, 1 year, 100 years. Dabo Swinney is a better head coach than Ryan Day.
Here's my take on the situation. I guess I kind of shared some of it, but I fully agree with you that Dabo is a better head coach. I think two national titles speaks for itself, both against Alabama and Nick Saban. I mean, you don't get better than beating the best. You know, I mean, he's beat Nick Saban twice. Ryan Day 0-1 against Nick Saban. He's like 1-3 in playoff games. Whereas Dabo Swinney has a tumultuous, you know, amazing record in the CFP. Um, I do think it's a good debate topic because it's come up. And I think it came up on Rooster Stream the other night, and I thought, okay, maybe it'll be a good conversation starter for tonight's show. Um, I mean, for this debate, here's the thing. Ryan Day is entering this season. I said this in a video, and I don't know if you watched it, but I had saw something where he was possibly on a hot seat. I don't think he's on a hot seat yet, but I think it's getting warm, and it's a make or break year for him, especially trying to get to the Big Ten title. Because this whole we lose one game and don't win our division, we'll still get in the playoff, that crap's not going to fly. So Ryan Day is on the edge of his seat trying to do something amazing with the Buckeye program. And everything he's got to replace this year, I don't think he can really do anything. I got Penn State, if not them, Michigan. But I like a team like Penn State to probably win the East, possibly even the Big Ten as a whole. I do like Clemson. Clemson could possibly get back into the college football playoff this year, and it wouldn't surprise me because I think they finally got their quarterback situation figured out. They got a lot coming back on defense. They got a lot of young guys stepping up that look really good in the spring game. Got some receivers. Man, this whole thing about Ryan Day, he's in a position where it's very hard to find an Ohio State coach in that position because Ohio State's a really good program.
Well, you and listen, Ohio State because he's only been head coach there for 4 years.
Right.
In those 4 years, we all thought that Ryan Day's year was this year. Obviously, it wasn't. And you can say they were a field goal away, right?
Yeah.
But why? I think Georgia outscored them 18-3.
See, and that's another thing. That's another thing too, because Ohio State was up big in that Peach Bowl. When's the last time you saw that for Dabo where he choked away a big lead? Last
Exactly.
time I checked, he was up big on Alabama and just kept pulling away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can't have that for a head coach. I mean, it's going to happen on occasion, but he's had even the games against Michigan. I don't know if they were necessarily up at half, but maybe they score first or they might get a little run going. The pressure gets to Ohio State and Ryan Day, and he can't do anything about it.
See, I'll say this, right? That, all right, let's talk about the COVID year. Whenever this is the last time Ryan Day versus Dabo Swinney, Clemson versus Ohio State was the COVID year, the playoff, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually Ohio State faced Alabama, and Bama became 2020 national champions, right? The COVID year.
Yeah.
So Clemson, I'm talking about leading up to this game, right? Clemson had played a grand total of 10 games, right? Leading up to this game. Remember, Ohio State played a 5-game season in the regular season, and then they weren't. See, the Big Ten wasn't going to allow Ohio State because they had a 6-game minimum. They wasn't going to allow Ohio State to make the Big Ten championship, but they had to overturn that rule. Ohio State then went on to win the Big Ten, so they were 6-0, right, heading into that playoff game versus Clemson. Clemson was I believe 9-1 with the ACC title, right?
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm telling you is that is a 4-game difference, right?
Yes.
4-game difference. That is almost as many games as Ohio State played in their own regular season. So, yes, I do believe a 4-game difference, a lot can happen in 4 games. A lot can happen in 1 game, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it was just a 1 or 2 game difference, I really wouldn't be talking about this. It's a 4-game difference, man. 4.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the COVID situation because, well, every team had the COVID situation. So I'm not even going to talk about that. But what I am talking about is a 4-game difference. Of course, Ohio State would probably be in a better position to win. And guess what? If Ohio State did not win that game versus Clemson, that would be terrible. If you
Yeah.
have 4 less games that you played and you can't get up for and you're an elite, you say you're an elite program, and you're facing somebody that's played 10 games and you can't get up and beat them. No, I
Yeah.
mean, you should be fired on the spot. I mean, you were supposed to beat them that year, you know. I'm not a Clemson fan and I'm not an Ohio State fan. So I'm neutral on this. I'm giving my neutral take on this.
Yeah.
4 games that you didn't play, and Clemson did play. That's a big factor heading into that game. And it was like 49-28. They still scored 28 points on you. So yeah, you can count it. You can say whoop-de-doo. Ryan Day has a big win over Dabo Swinney. Yes, clap your hands. But then they got totally humiliated by the Crimson Tide, so couldn't finish the job there. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama had played 10 or 11 games leading up to that game as well, and they had Ohio State had only played 1 more game, which it would be 7 games. So all I'm saying is, COVID year, people kind of, whenever you talk about the COVID year, that's why you don't hear Bama fans really screaming to their lungs about winning the 2020 national championship. Yes, y'all won. Kudos to y'all. If you want to brag about it, right?
Yeah.
But that's why you really don't hear a whole lot of things about that COVID year, because it was just a wonky year, right?
Yeah.
But yes, listen, and before I get any comments down in the comment section, listen, yes, Alabama fans, if y'all want to scream to the top of your lungs, fine, y'all won. Y'all are not fake. See, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stand up here and say y'all are fake national champions or put an asterisk right there. Y'all are the national champions. Y'all don't need an asterisk. Y'all are the clear national champions of 2020, and I think even if we played a full regular season, that probably would have still been the outcome. But all I'm trying to say is Dabo Swinney, and you bring up the rankings, like in recruiting, right? And technically,
I actually want to look at this year's upcoming classes and see where they are. But even like last year, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but um, Ryan Day has been like I feel like yes, in a way, Ryan Day has emerged, but Dabo Swinney in recruiting has kind of fallen back a little bit, hasn't he?
who?
Dabo.
I mean, well, we're looking at recruiting rankings here in what, April?
Yeah.
That's a long ways to go. At one point, South Carolina fans were excited over a number 6 ranking, and look how they've fallen, right?
So let's look
It's still
2024 today.
still a very long way. Still got several months, but
Yeah.
what I am going to say is this: Dabo Swinney had 1 year where he was outside the top 10. Other than that, he's always been top 10. He had several top 5 classes, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd say this: Dabo's done really well in recruiting. Now, I heard somebody tell me this, right? And I want to get your take on this, right? Because this is a good question to ask. And do you believe coaching has nothing to do with recruiting, right?
Thing you have said tonight so far, and um, you know, keep in touch with me. Obviously, I know you love to call me all the time and everything. We'll figure out some good stuff for you guys on the Touchdown Tuesdays this week. Don't forget, we simulcast to both of our channels. Go subscribe to Mayhem Matthew and Needham Dogs, and anything else you got tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think your count right now is 954. Whenever I clicked the link, anyways, could have went up. But listen, get this guy to 1,000. Very close to it. You know, it would be a really, I think I subscribed to you whenever you was. I remember the 700 special, and I've been subscribed to you way before that. So I'll say that I was subscribed to Ballard Sports Media around the 550 mark, something like that. So I've seen, the 700 special. I've seen when you hit 800, 900. Let's get this man to 1,000 subs. That would be so cool to see somebody go from, half of 1,000 all the way to 1,000. And see, Ballard puts in really good work on this channel. So that's all I really got. But thank you for letting me come on.
Yeah, always, Mayhem. You're always welcome here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace.